I have some. Hey guys, I am looking for just a moment. Let me get my people on here. It was the settings. OMG! Hey!
Hey, what's up?
Oh my God! You know what? Leave it to me to be technically challenged, and so I tried so hard. So forgive me, everyone. I want to invite everyone on here. Let's see. We have Ann Winters here. Hey, girl.
Hello.
Okay. Is
I don't know why
Adrianne?
they gave that job.
Uh,
They should have given the engineer the job of starting the live chat.
I did all that, and it just kept taking pictures of myself. Nobody wants to see all that. So, oh,
Hi, everybody.
hey, Jessica, you're here. Quota. So,
Was-
Adrianne is not able to join. Let me see what's going on here.
If Jess, if you ask to join, we can just accept you in if it's like hard to do.
Okay. Well, I've invited them, and let's invite them again.
I put a filter. That's better.
Okay.
What's up?
Oh, Quota, you're here.
Hi, I'm here.
Okay, let me find sister here.
Penny, I am the one that's usually like nothing technical in the technical world ever works for me. I'll have everything updated, plugged in, I'll test it out, and it fails every time. So I feel you, girl.
Wait a minute. Let me tell you something, darling. I've been at this for a long time, and it just wouldn't work. Is sister on here yet?
I don't think so. But
No.
by the way, that's all that matters is that we fix.
Well, we're gonna get started as soon as the one and only Adrianne gets to join us. But this is so exciting to be able to chat and have a go at it. And you guys who are watching, you're just gonna be flies on the wall because we're gonna talk about some really exciting things. And let's see, do we have sister yet? We don't have her. Let's see. I'm trying.
How do I?
And
What?
that looks cute on you.
Thank you.
She's on?
You, girl.
You guys got
Look, I
it.
took my twists out, you guys.
I know, and your hair looks good, and I put twist in, so got it going on.
Love it. Okay, so why don't we have Adrianne? I definitely don't want to stop this without Adrianne. Let's see.
Are you asking? Who's asking the questions?
I'm going to be asking the questions, and I have a lot of questions for you guys. And you know me, I can go deep.
Yeah, yeah.
So
while we wait for her,
okay, we're going to try to get started. Let me just try one more time just to see.
She still should have the invite in her mailbox like at all times, so she can come in at any time if she wants.
Oh, she can? Okay, great. So you guys really know how to do this. That's when you become a little challenged. But hey, listen, the fans have seen some things this year. I mean, we came right out of the boot. We just, hit them strong, kicking and screaming. But let's talk about Domino. I mean, what an episode. I watched it and I was thinking, whoa, whoa, whoa. I wasn't around when you ladies were actually shooting that, excuse my language, badass action. So I do you mind if I start with you, and
No, I don't mind.
okay, listen. Did you have any idea how this was actually going to come off with, I mean, all the stunts, the prep for this, I mean, the emotions that you had to, go through, and then hanging out with Isaac all the time, Charlie hanging out with Isaac. Talk a little bit about that, and then I'm going to ask you some specific questions.
I mean, I don't know how you asked how it would come across. I don't necessarily think I.
Yeah.
Even
So once you get all of the special effects together, set, and you're just doing your thing. But then when you are in concert with all these other things and you finally see it on the big screen, Talk about
Yeah.
that.
I mean, I'm always shocked at how it looks at the final stages of everything after being in front of a green screen or a blue screen the whole time. But character-wise, I'm not gonna lie, I had a good sense about the whole kind of arc of the entire season and with Isaac, and I kind of kept the pending death moment out of my head the entire time, because that's something that happens in the moment. So it wasn't like I was thinking that that was like the end for her. So to play that that was actually my last day on set too, was that scene. So to play that there was just a lot that like hit me over the entire course of the season, and things that I had learned, and things that, you know, I thought about with Isaac, and after doing all the homework beforehand and then being on set and actually doing the scene, that kind of, you know, came to me at the very end. And then I was like, oh, I'm so sad now. Like I knew this was coming, but now I'm like really sad. I don't know if I would ever come back.
Did you draw bravery from the sadness? Because Charlie had to be brave, you know, because she gave up everything for the better good. But at the same time, and it's like, oh, wait a minute, this is my last day. So how do those two merge together?
You guys, I don't mean,
Or do they?
I'm reading something. Adrianne, she's saying she can't get in.
I'm going to try here once more.
Yeah,
Excuse
sorry.
me, ladies.
I was very involved, and now so many people are saying it, so I think we've like missed it. I'm like just really listening to you, Annie.
Okay, wait, hold up. Wait a minute, does Sister get in yet?
People are like, she's trying to troubleshoot. So sad. Do you see her?
No. God, no. Typing so fast. How do you see that?
Okay, we're gonna keep going, but we're gonna keep checking on to make sure she gets in.
Just be on lookout.
Okay, so the bittersweet moment together. What I'm getting to is like, when did they merge? And the reality was that this is my last day. I am sad, but I got to be true to what this script is telling me to do right now.
I mean, that's pretty, to be honest, very easy for me to do. Like when I'm at work and in character and wearing the suit and everything, I'm very much there. It's not till I change in my trailer to go home and put my sweats back on that I realize that I'm going home and not coming back. That's the sad part. But I think watching it back, that moment when Isaac saves me right before I sacrifice myself, I think that was a big moment for her too, to see that he didn't kill the guy and he chose to save his life too. And I think it was just a great moment right before I do what I do. I mean, she clearly over the time has learned a lot, not only from being on the Orville and seeing how Ed runs his ship, and seeing even like the women episode and how judgmental they are, and kind of realizing maybe that's how Charlie's being towards Isaac, and then meeting Timus. And there's an entire journey that she takes to where the decision at the end, I feel like made sense to her, and it made sense as to maybe why Amanda did that in the very beginning. So,
well, you turned it out, and then that close-up of your eyes, all I'm looking at is how flawless the eyeliner is, and then I'm thinking, boy, that freaking works. You know, see this innocence, and then this chick is brave. But not only are we brave though in Domino, we have, and you guys know I don't use that language, but we had some badass action. So Quarter, I mean, come on, Jessica. When you say, no, let me have it. And you just freaking open that up, and then, I mean, but, and you're not that strong, girl, but I saw you like, so let's talk about the strength of Tala, and not just her physical strength, but I saw a lot of emotional strength going on in Tala in this particular episode. And it's called Domino, so you have this domino effect. It's affecting everybody. So tell us how that affected Tala, knowing that you might have to kill somebody today.
I mean, I think that's what was so brilliant about this season, is that every episode was so loaded with so many levels and flavors and things that blow my mind. And it's kind of to what you were saying before, Annie, like we don't, when you see the finished product, it's like beyond what you can even imagine, just like the special effects and seeing the other scenes that you're not in and just bringing these stories to life were so insane. But for Tala, yeah, there would be times I'd read the script and I'm like, how in the hell is she doing this? And sure enough, she would do it. But there was like, it was very interesting when Seth and John would direct me with some things. Sometimes, you know, I would overdo it to try to really like, oh, you know what I mean? And there, you know, sometimes it'd be like, take it down because the strength's there. Like, it's not just totally effortless, but that was like, not challenging, but it'd be something I forget. It's kind of like in a scene.
Okay, but that door was hard in this episode.
The door was hard.
Because I saw those muscles. Come on now. I saw that workout. You know, and all you guys look like brilliant. I mean, and your body looks so fabulous in those suits. I kept
my hat.
Oh, okay. Were they cool or what? You know, to stand in there. And so I can't wait for Sister to get on here because she was like kicking some butt. Really kicking some butt. That scene went on forever. But when you guys get on, when you're getting off the ship or the shuttle and you fall backwards, Annie, you fell backwards.
That was so fun. That was my favorite day on set.
I can each of you just have a little chat about that because I've never had to fall out of anything. Go ahead, girl. We see your house. Oh, yeah, you do have it.
Here's the house tour
right now.
I stole some stuff too, so it's okay.
Hold on, I gotta see it in the light. I mean, these helmets only fit our heads. We had like 20 fittings for this hat, so I was like, no one else can wear it. I gotta keep this.
That's actually true. Very true. But
how far did you guys have to actually fall, the stunt wise, and how much of the stunt was you?
I actually fell like 15 feet backwards and landed on my back, which was so, I mean, not without a harness. I had a harness on. I wasn't like free falling about to break my neck, but I definitely had to have some training to, like, you know, but I have a cheerleading background. I was the one that they threw up in the air. So it was actually really fun to me. I was like, yes, I get to do some fun stuff like I used to do again.
Girl, they couldn't pay me enough to fall backwards. I'm afraid of heights and all that stuff too. No, what happened with you? What did you do? Did you dive forward like you were in the swimming pool?
I was on a harness as well. There was so much safety and so much preparation for it. So when we actually had to do it, I felt like really ready and was actually just like excited to like go for it. But I mean, she's right. Our costume, the helmets, everything was so specific and so tedious. But also just so rad and fun. And then again, like, you don't know what it's going to look like. And we let and trust, you know, beautiful, magical movie magic that happens on this show. And they just did an excellent job. Like,
okay, I have to ask this question because everybody probably wants to know the answer to it. You did all this stunts, you did all this badass action, and you just had a baby. Okay, so how does that even work? I mean, I can't wrap my head around it. Did you know at some point you were gonna do all of the physical stuff in Domino? And did you, I mean, you were still breastfeeding? I mean, did you?
Yeah, we basically, the pandemic happened, we shut down. It was a year later. Basically, most people went back in January. I had Bowie January 11th. And I came back early April. So it was like 3 months. And yeah, I was breastfeeding. There were times where I'm like, oh, I can feel, sorry, this is TMI, my breast filling up. So, you know, we had that scheduled in, which I appreciate the entire crew and you guys for just being so accommodating and so wonderful for it. And Bowie appreciates it too, because she was hungry. But everyone was just so wonderful with me that, like, I felt supported. And so I feel like sometimes it's mind over matter. I'm like, I can do this and I'm going to do this. So I did. But I have a great stunt double. Like, she's amazing. So that was also helpful because there were certain things I think that I just wasn't allowed to do, not because of being a mom or breastfeeding, that it's like jumping too high or doing things that like a real professional stunt person had to do. But but she's phenomenal and I miss her. And I mean, then when you watch, it's so seamless and effortless that you don't even really, you obviously you're not supposed to, but I'm like, they couldn't have matched it better. And with the
I was looking for that, and I'm telling you, it was truly seamless in all the performances. You know, like Sister isn't on here yet, but
I'm working on it. If you see my concentration face,
I know I was trying to before, but I don't think we can invite her. I think only.
Well,
I keep inviting her. I keep inviting her over and over. So I'm going to try once more, but I want to just make this comment because the Claire character was not in all of that, but everything was in Domino. And there was a point to me that was one of the most emotional scenes in the entire episode. And actually, it was at Charlie's funeral. That was very, Seth, he did turn it out. I mean, those words coming out of his mouth, and then the different close-ups, the different takes on how people felt about losing someone. And it just made me think so much about sacrifice and what do you sacrifice? And for that character to sacrifice, and for the planetary union to sacrifice as well. And the whole idea behind Domino is that we don't kill someone. That's the last thing that we do. It was full of so much. It was full of all of the different people, the Mocklins, the Krill, the Kalon, and the humans, and all of us having to interact and find something. And so I often wonder how Seth comes up with the titles of these. And I thought Domino was just on point for this particular episode. So I actually want to hear from both of you in regards to, we don't know the titles before we do it, but how appropriate or how in line were the titles for Domino in the experience that you had? Did you feel you were stacking the deck and then falling, or what?
I do feel like each storyline, probably affects us all differently, obviously, but I do in a way. And there was one point talking with Ed, or they're sitting in their meeting, and it actually, you might have said it. It'll go off, and it's a domino effect. And I always love when you use the title in the episode or in a movie. I love that. But I do think for each person it was different. It was, because every time it's like, okay, we got to get this, we got to do this, this, and this to get here. So I felt even with Tala, and then because of how high the stakes were for everything, it was even that much more powerful, I felt like. So, but yes, I definitely think for Tala, there was definitely domino effects going on, for sure.
What about you, Annie?
I am not listening. I'm still on the Adrianne thing. Honest with you, because she's been in the chat, but you can request, as any person on here, you can request to be in this. So if she does, I'm looking for her request.
I've requested her. I've invited her. I'm going to invite her once. I'm going to invite
also
her.
Request. She can also request, and we say click, right when she says, I'm requesting to go on. Anybody can say in the chat, I'm requesting to go on the live with everybody.
Okay, I've invited her. Is she doing a request?
I don't see it, but if it passes, it's gone.
Oh my gosh!
Ah!
Oh my God, guys!
What?
You know how long I've been trying to do this? Jesus.
Okay, I just asked a question about the domino effect. I want to let Baby Doll finish answering that, but I want to go to you. You didn't even hear the question.
No, I was trying to help.
Did you see what we had to go through, fans? You get the four of us together, and it's just freaking crazy. I'm saying that the title was called Domino, and did you feel that Charlie took a domino journey in this particular episode?
I mean, yeah, now that you say that, for sure. I mean, it was definitely one learning experience after the other that kind of made her realize how judgmental or how maybe narrow-minded she was from the beginning, that she kind of knocked down the walls or the barriers in her mind towards Isaac to be able to really see him as Isaac and not the Kalon.
Yes, her effect goes on forever, all mankind, because of the sacrifice that she made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saving the planet, one planet at a time.
Sister! Oh my gosh. Okay.
Hey, sister!
Girl.
Oh my God. And
Thank
hey, I love the red hair.
Oh,
It looks great on you.
To see each other. Sister,
I
look, I
haven't
took my
seen it.
twist out.
Okay,
Okay,
I love it.
so I got to talk
Yeah,
about
the best
Domino
hair.
with you.
Yeah. Thanks,
Yes,
girl.
this is great too.
They all have great hair.
Okay, so this is what happens when you have girl time. We just need an adult beverage, but we don't. Okay, or maybe we do. Okay. So when you were actually preparing for this one, because that fighting sequence, was it like 16 minutes or something like that? How exhausted were you, and how did you train? Because most people want to know, because they want to be you. I'm one of those people. So what was that like? I know you are a fighter, and I know this is like, you can do this in your sleep, but help the rest of us out. What is the mindset when you know you got to go in and you have to really kick butt? And I mean, that face was kick butt too.
Well, yeah, here's the thing. I've been doing action for so long. I've missed it a lot. And that was actually our last day of shooting. So to the point where we didn't know if we were going to wrap. We're like, are we going to finish tonight, or are we going to have to come back tomorrow, in true Orville style? It was honestly one of my favorite days on set, because it was really fun, and everybody was so great. And, Jess, you were there. It was intense. It was a lot.
Also, you're
but
so good at action, and it's like built in you, like it's in your blood, it's in you, that like even at times when I'm like, hey, how am I holding the gun? Is it right? Like, is it a short shift? Is it this? And she'd be like, and the way she explained it, you were such a good teacher. And watching it back, I'm like, oh my God, a subtle movement, that the action of having these weapons and all that is so important. And you don't really know that until you're in the moment, even if you do a rehearsal. And I would just look at Adrianne, and she would be like, girl, you got to keep it tight.
Girl, I learned how to run from her. I thought, that because I'm a runner, so I know I can run like really fast. And then we were doing a scene. It wasn't this one. And her wasn't this one. And her legs were like going slow.